GM. Good morning.
GM, my friend.
I thought you fell
how you
asleep
doing?
at the keyboard.
No.
Face
I
down.
was just chatting with someone.
No, all good. Yeah, GM. Friday. Yay.
Yay.
Feeling good. Feeling great. GM Cambo. Adam Chalmers, 2:30 a.m. That's definitely GM.
Yep.
GM blah blah. GM Dexter. Scottish guy. Hey now. Never heard that before. Just saw a DC investor offering $350 million for the rights to MFers to Satoshi.
Who did? Wait, what?
DC investor. He was just joking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't even want to talk about it because I'm scared they're going to get away from me before I build my position as large as I'd like to build it. But yeah, MFers. I think PFPs we're going to be a lot more discerning going forward. I think we have seen the cash grab bubble pop on the last cycle, and you're going to have to be good at picking really good projects. I don't think there's going to be as much trading arbitrage as people are going to be more cautious to mint. And the projects that know they're the shit are basically going to be 100% white listed, and whatever isn't is going to go to the premint.xyz, as has been the basic model now. And look,
that's been a pretty cool platform to experience too. Actually,
wow! I mean,
they do a good job.
Hey,
very good.
If I was a VC, I'd be licking my chops there. So yeah, I love the pre-mint, and
it's just so functional. Like you trust it, it works. It seems to be equitable, and even like
you have to pay 1 ETH to be on there. So the same way I talk about the reason I like gas fees. People complain about Gwei and complain about gas. I like gas because it slows down the amount of scams that there are. Mm-hmm. If this were Solana and it was, free to put something on there, essentially, you'd have the same thing. You'd have 1,000 scams for every good project. So it slows down people's ability to run these things. It's more expensive for people to do them.
Washes out the scam arbitrage.
Right. And that's the same with Premint. If a project is willing to spend that 1 ETH, it's just another sign that they're legitimate. And no one thing means anything, but you take everything into account. And I just think that's another thing that you would say, okay, that's something that makes me think maybe these guys are serious. So,
yeah. Do they vet the projects? I don't think so. Do they? I don't know how that. I don't know the details, the depth of what they do, but yeah. Was Raid Party, was that auction? Was that on the Premint? I'm trying to remember what they used for that ranked auction.
Did they use Premint? Man,
that ranked auction was on a specific site too, and it was actually quite a good experience to use.
No. They used. Didn't they use the site Satoshi used also? No, whatever. They used a special site that allowed for the type of auction that they did.
Yeah, the ranked auction. Yeah.
Yes, and someone else used that tech before, something like that. But no, it was not Premint, I guess is the bottom line. That wasn't Premint.
MetaDrop.
Yeah. There you go.
Very good experience as well. I did not win that auction, but it was good to use. I will gotta give it props for that.
Yeah.
I just I know we don't talk about it much anymore. I was scrolling through some of the Discords and I saw that block from Critters, 3 million block has been traded on the 100% gasless in-game marketplace. That's quite a milestone.
Interesting.
They hit 1 million block traded somewhere on March 15th.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 days later, they've tripled it.
Wow.
So, I mean, I don't play it much anymore, but shit, people are still People are still using that game.
Well, as Block has cratered, and I think it's sitting around 8 cents right now.
Yeah.
It's not a ton of money in the developed world to play on a daily basis, but if you live outside of the developed world, something like Critters is still a pretty good daily take.
And it's also great if you just like playing Minecraft and now you're earning something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the opposite side of it is, I was going to be playing Minecraft anyways. At least now I make, $7 an hour.
Yeah.
Who's pumped for the Little Lemon Friends update? Ooh, I think a lot of people are probably.
Hell yeah.
What's the speculation? I know you don't have inside info, and even if you did, you wouldn't be able to share it.
That's the thing. I'm not allowed to say anymore.
Gotcha.
I know too much.
So I won't even prod. Yeah.
I have to now be Mr. Nope. I know nothing.
Gotcha. All right.
I know nothing. But
well,
I'm pumped.
I can tell you guys, he keeps that he keeps that true to his word behind closed scenes too. So I know nothing myself, but I still do hold some lemons, and I'm excited to see what they had.
I've always found in life it's more fun to be surprised. So.
That is true too. Yeah.
Right.
I haven't bought any more lemons, but I've been slow to sell them. I think the last big volume spike we had, not this week, but the last.
Bullish, R2. Jeez.
What? Oh, I just mean like I'm happy to hold these for a long term now. Like, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
I've got my.
We thank you for your service.
Hey, I got my purple Sammy. I'm holding on to that motherfucker. I love him. 3D glasses, purple Sammy. Take it.
Love the lemon.
And the black background too. Did you end up being able to get like one of every trait?
I haven't. I know which trait I'm zeroing in on next, but I will not say it publicly, as if you understand, there are quite a few hallmarks of collections where you go, oh, this is like legitimate, like this is a real I think about Dead Fellas and Sappy Seals, and they're not like those hype popular collections that all the cool kids rock on a daily basis. But when you like dig into their communities, the people who are in them are obsessed, like utterly obsessed, like, oh, like I have to have all of this trade, or oh, I need this one with The lemons are just that way. There are quite a few insano collectors in the lemons who, if I tip which one I want, could be bad. So
they'll start front running you.
I am in the process of trying to get one of every trait. I do have a trait that I'm zeroing in on next, but you're not going to milk that answer out of me, sir.
No, I'm not going to ask. I just out of curiosity, and I know that this isn't necessarily your play or anything like that, but often we see, let's take Super Nintendo for example. Somebody goes through and they make it their mission to get like one of everything that Super Nintendo ever did, whether it's the different colorways on the console, the different controllers, all the different games, like they just try and get everything, right?
Yeah.
And then they have this massive collection, and then they actually end up selling that collection almost at a premium because the time expenditure and effort to accumulate all of that demands a premium. Do you ever see something like that happening in NFTs?
No question. That we have to always step back and look and realize 98% of the people in this market are speculators. They're not collectors, okay? That percentage is going to shift dramatically over the next 5 to 10 years. As that shifts, the value in collections that have managed to stay relevant or become historic is going to grow immensely because of small reasons like that, whether it's somebody trying to collect all of a trait or whether it's just the overall tailwind of the collector base growing. Remember, there's 1 million uniques on OpenSea right now, and everybody has 4 or 5 wallets. I mean, there's probably not more than 600 or 700,000 people on there trading NFTs right now. The collection base is going to grow dramatically. The collector base is going to grow dramatically over the next 1 and 2 years. And we get very caught up in the nuances of the market because we're in it. We're deep. We don't sit, you hear it all the time. Go outside and put your feet in the grass. If you went outside and put your feet in the grass, you'd realize when people say we're early, what they're talking about is that the collector base is going to be in the millions over the next years, in the millions, and we're not even above 1 yet. So,
yep, 100%.
Strap in.
That pond is about to get real big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. GM, DGens, and welcome to the Friday, March 25th edition of the AlphaMint AM Show, episode 98, hosted live on YouTube and Twitch TV. I am your host, R2DGen, joined with me every single morning, Mr. Free Market.
Hey now.
Capitalist. Hey now. It's Friday. We got the weekend coming up. Markets are going for a run. That's if nothing else is happening, always a good feeling to at least see the underlying value of the currency that we trade in going up, approaching 3,200. We'll talk about that in a second. S&Ps, bell just rang about 10-15 minutes ago, and they are having a pretty good day too, fighting with that resistance mark that you mentioned, that 45.25 ish. Was that was the number, right?
That was it.
Yes, I remember.
Well, finally. It's AKA the 200-day moving average. All right. That's really the resistance that's there. And yeah, markets are something to talk about right now. We have taken a decided leg higher in everything: Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the stock market. So we are basically set up for a very, very large move up if nothing else bad happens. Now, the healthiest thing would be some consolidation here. If we continued running up, you would create an extreme in which you would see a very big snapback. That wouldn't necessarily be bad. It's just, watch out for it and don't get too bullish at the top if we keep running here. So it's the idea that if we keep running and get too hot, one, don't buy anything new, and two, maybe take a little profits. If we consolidate here, for at least a little bit, don't be as scared of those new highs when we hit them. You want the market to digest the move that was just there, because you can look now and see that ETH has run from $2,300 to $3,200. It's sitting at $3,177 right now, and NFTs are up a good 100% over that period. Okay, most NFTs are up 20, 50, 100%. So ETH can go up while NFTs go up. And just over the last day, as ETH has started to push those old highs we were at, you've seen NFT floors cool off around the board as people are now looking. I actually think that's more a factor of alts, okay? Alts have gotten off the mat here. Even Ohm rallied 25% yesterday from $30 to $40, which is fucking laughable when you realize it fell from like 600 or whatever the hell it was. It was at its peak. I saw the Ohmies yesterday start tweet. I was like, really? Is Ohm back? Is it? I was like, oh man, it's gonna be 100, 150. It would pop from 30 to 37. I said, ooh, man, you're down bad.
Well, it's the little things in life, Sometimes you just need to take the wins.
Oh boy. It's even worse when you look at it in ETH terms, but we won't get into that. I mean, ETH rallying is actually helping those charts a little bit or whatever. But yeah, so I think the biggest risk to NFTs are alts and not spot ETH. And if alts are getting
the attention out, right? Like,
right, look, yeah, NFTs are illiquid shitcoins, and shitcoins are liquid shitcoins. So people will run to it when there's good action there, and you could see NFTs cool off as a result of that. I think that would obviously just be an opportunity. Again, you have tailwinds we just talked about in the pre-show. You have bullish seasonality coming up. And of course, the summer, I think, is billed to be similar to last year, though I do think these smart people are starting to skate towards generative art. So I will tell you right now, and I don't even think it's early in that sense. It's already moved off its low. You missed the low in generative art, because the low was a couple weeks ago and nobody's talking about it yet. It will have a move this summer. There will be some new what the fuck stories. And yeah, Gen Art is going to have a movement again. So yes, yes, the Kenza. Yes.
Did he say Gen Art? Yeah. Yeah, it definitely looks like ETH is breaking that trend that we were seeing kind of over the last 3 months. You know, it was consolidating kind of in this channel, and you know, a move up could be pretty bullish after this, you know, pretty extended consolidation phase. I know there was a lot of volatility in the middle of it, but again, you're shifting from the paper hands to the diamond hands, and a lot of times that ETH that transfers over tends to be a little bit more sticky when you start to trade in this range. Obviously, the S&P is having a pretty good day so far. We are headed into the weekend. What would you be looking for to be closing at, so that S&P?
I think it's going. I think it's going to close right where it is right now.
We'll have
I don't think it's going to go much higher. The only thing I will say, and I said this yesterday, the relative strength indicator actually has a lot of room to go to the upside. That would open the door for maybe a late day rally today, as markets do like to rally on Fridays, especially into the close during bullish periods, and we are in a decidingly bullish period. And I could then see it extending into the early innings of Monday, only to reverse midday and finally give us our pullback. That's only if we keep running. Otherwise, ideally, we just stay going sideways here for a good week. That would be nice.
Yeah, perfect. It's exciting stuff. I'm okay with ETH doing this this trek up back to, you know, 4K. Seems like a really nice number for some reason. I don't know. I just always felt like it was a good number.
Tell me your net worth is in ETH without telling me your net worth is in ETH.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Well, for me, when you do the conversion from American, the 4K in America to Canadian, it was 5K, right? So that was a really nice round number there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So want to move into the kind of the environmental side of crypto and whatnot. ExxonMobile is planning to use their natural gas flare-offs to I might have bungled that, gas flaring, sorry, to power Bitcoin and crypto miners. I find this particularly interesting because we often, you know, get bombarded with the environmental side of crypto and how the carbon footprint of it is so big, and it is. But in comparison to a lot of the traditional stuff that we use, it's actually not even really that big. Things like Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, like they all have a bigger carbon footprint than Bitcoin does, and I think that's a little bit of importance to remember, that a lot of these people are attacking you about the environmental impact on platforms that are arguably worse. Now, why I find this to be particularly important is that because this gas flaring is, you know, a process that's happened where they burn off gas while they're extracting oil. A lot of times there's been, you know, not a lot to do with it. It's more expensive to transport than it's worth, and you know, it's difficult to transport. Now they're going to be using that wasted energy into adding, you know, Bitcoin mining into their system, and you know, I guess using it as an additional revenue stream, really. But when you're talking about the actual environmental impact, you got to remember, like, gas flaring was happening regardless of Bitcoin's existence or not. And now there is the, you know, the opportunity for these companies or these energy providers to be shifting into using their waste into generating new revenue, and also, you know, the traditional miners to be shifting into renewable resources to increase their profit margins. So, you know, when you start to think about it like that way, sometimes it can, you know, you can kind of almost fudge it into, like, I shouldn't say fudge it, like that's disingenuous. You can almost look at it as, you know, a net win.
Yeah, I mean, it's smart. I'm more compelled by the fact that ExxonMobil's getting into crypto here. That's very interesting to me. I mean, the majority of crypto is still mined using dirty energy, so I don't think it, you know, sure, this is smart. I mean, it's a good idea, and we should. Why not? I mean, they always say that crypto is monetized energy. It's energy monetization. So if there's wasted
That's Saylor's
energy,
big theory. Yep.
yeah. So if there's energy out there, so if it's Saylor's theory, he must only be talking about Bitcoin. But since that would be stupid, I'll just zoom that out to all blockchain. And yeah, I think that anywhere in the world there is that wasted energy you could somehow do. Crypto mining would be a great use for that. Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. September 2020, Cambridge University found that only 39% of the Bitcoin network specifically ran on renewable energy. 40% at that time is not bad. I got to believe that that's been increased as well, especially when you start to look at the fact that, El Salvador has got their volcano mining and all of that stuff. They're just harnessing all of that wasted energy. So yeah, very, very interesting to see, a company like this, and that would be surprised if they were the last one to jump into this realm. Grammy-winning DJ Diplo to sell $99 tokens in new single. Diplo is the latest major artist to embrace a token-based approach to music releases using the platform Royal. This is kind of interesting. These are NFTs, although they specifically said don't refer to them as NFTs. They want them to be... I guess they're trying to differentiate the fact that NFTs are traditionally associated with visual art, and they don't want the fact that this is music to get muddled up in with it. The music industry is very protective of those ideas. But Diplo joins hip hop stars Nas and two independent musicians who have issued tokens on Royal, which is founded by the celebrity DJ Blau, as a way for artists to use blockchain to create new relationships with their fans, and of course, tap into crypto-based revenue streams. He's going to be issuing 3 different tiers of tokens: $99, $999, and $9,999. They are going to be, and this is where I'm curious, because we often think of this as like, pump the brakes, don't touch this. They're going to be offering royalties on the single based on your holdings of the token. So obviously the diamond tier offers more with 0.7% royalties, and they scale around. We typically look at that as a big no-no. It's it would imply that it's a security. But when you're talking about people like Diplo or this platform Royal, or you mentioned in the pre-show, Cool Cats setting up their own liquidity pool, I have to believe that there has been a lawyer or a team of lawyers that they've paid particularly well to do some diligence on this. And I'm wondering if maybe this is opening the floodgates to people feeling more comfortable with stuff like that. I remember not so long ago, the idea of a project setting up their own liquidity pool was like, sell it all and run. But, it seems to be changing a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we've said a lot of times that music, it's an underserved area of NFTs, because we've led with NFTs being very visual, being art-based right now. And yes, music is art, but we've used this technology in a very limited way relative to what smart contracts can do for both the creative side and the business side of everything. I think that's why they're so prolific, because you can combine new types of creativity with a more efficient and direct way to do business. So music, very ripe for this. Now I'm super interested in this company that keeps getting, Diplo and Nas. These are two of my favorite, musicians over the last few decades. So very, very interesting stuff. And that we are limited now by our technology and its reach. As these things unfold, it's going to get a lot more interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Doing a little bit more reading on this. The Chainsmokers are involved in Royal. I'm not particularly a huge fan of them, but obviously a huge name. It's just something to keep an eye out for sure. the biggest thing here is that they go into like how the royalty payments are actually made, and this is where the system isn't actually trustless yet. There still is an onus on the artist to collect the royalty checks and distribute them properly, based on their holdings, which means that they have to start being transparent about how much money they're actually earning, et cetera, et cetera. So there's no guaranteed way that there's payments made from all of the radio stations or commercials that are using it and all of that stuff. It doesn't go into a designated crypto account and then the royalties distributed automatically. But these artists are big. They do have reputations to put out on the line, and they're going down the path of using a Web3 based technology. I would imagine that they are, at least at this point, have to be very careful about how they treat that, especially with things like the Department of Justice coming down on a rug pull, which we'll get to very shortly. We're starting to see real legal ramifications. We see Floyd Mayweather getting sued all the time. Some of these celebrities have had to backpedal pretty massively. But I think Royal, it's definitely getting some name brand recognition from some pretty damn big artists, and it's going to be one to look out for. So that's pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm. Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. Play to earn a game. Axie, gaming token behind Axie Infinity jumps 13%. The rise in Axie Infinity's native AXS token comes as the team lays out plans for full decentralization into the hands of its community. The biggest play here is that AXS will be a governance token. Obviously, one token equals one vote, and this will be giving control over the $1 billion treasury that they have sitting there in their metaverse game. Axie had a absolutely historic run last year, late 2020, I believe. They, were the model of P2E gaming and, empowering people in all different kinds of countries to earn money. And then the entrance point got a little bit out of control. It got a little bit stale, and we've seen some other things move into it. But Axie token up 14% this morning on that news. Do you think that this is something that's going to pull Axie out of the dark? Do you think that it matters that this is a governance token and that their brand is decentralized? Or would you actually prefer, if you had any skin in Axie Infinity, that it was controlled by a centralized company, as they can be maybe a little bit more focused?
Yeah, this is the fight between centralization and decentralization. This sounds like exit liquidity to me, because, if there is no centralized organization to guide this game, I don't think it's going to do well. I think what makes, the thing you build on should be decentralized, but for apps to have good experiences, there must be centralized companies behind them with competent leaders and a competent, good strategy for going forward. I don't trust the people to know what to do with the game. If they did, they'd build their own Axie Infinity and be billionaires, but they didn't. Okay, so this to me sounds like an opportunity for the founders to basically sell this to a hedge fund by a bunch of people getting together, buying a bunch of these tokens, and deciding what happens to that $1 billion and any money that comes into Axie after it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So often I see DAO voting and stuff. We're going to be getting that in ApeCoin too, so we're going to be able to watch in real time how that kind of plays out. But the aggregate intelligence of a group of people holding a certain project is not necessarily greater than one person as a CEO that has come up through the ranks and grown companies and made smart decisions. I think that's often a misnomer that like this aggregate hive mind should be able to make better decisions. Now they might be able to make more pertinent decisions for their own bags or whatever, but that's not always necessarily the right way too. And you got to see, second and third order consequences, which I don't think are looked at very often when you get down and dirty with these DAO voting. The other thing too is a lot of times the holding is so concentrated amongst a small group of whales that it's very hard for the large swath of people holding the tokens to have any ability to sway the narrative and the vote. So my gut always just goes back to something that Kobe said, and that these, decentralized DAOs will probably only really work when it's like a group of 5 or a group of 7 or 8 or 10, like a small, concentrated but highly competent group of people are voting.
So a board.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But in a decentralized fashion. But that is essentially exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess when you put it like that, right? Just gonna, let's move on to the U.S. Justice Department. U.S. DoJ charges Ethereum NFT project creators over rug pull, and I'm air quoting because it is funny to see the term rug pull in an official document. But the alleged creators of the Frostie's NFT project, a well-known rug pull, were charged with wire fraud and money laundering. These are two 20-year-old kids that are each getting one count of those, and they carry quite a big sentence. I think it's 30 and 20 years respectively. So this is Ethan Wynn and Andre Lacuna are the alleged creators of Embers, a project that launched in January. This is something that was supposed to mint tomorrow. I can safely say that I don't think that's going to go down. Frosties has been delisted on OpenSea. Hilariously enough, there was quite a big swell of volume right towards the end there, where people were sweeping the floor just before it got delisted. But this is the first time that I think we've seen, the Justice Department really coming down on an NFT project. I gotta believe people like the founders of Squiggles and whatnot are probably starting to get a little bit worried too. And I think that a lot of people are going to be worried about this, even if you have an NFT project that you're legitimately doing. But I really, really do think that this was gone after because there was clear malice and intent to just take money and run from people. What we saw with the Frosties and NFT was that the Discord and the website was shut down very, very shortly after minting out. Fucked off with the money. They split it up over all kinds of different wallets and moved on with their life. They seem to have resurfaced with the Embers NFT project, and now the DOJ has said enough's enough. How much of it? Well, first of all, what's your take on this? And then second, how much of a deterrent do you think that this is going to be in scams in NFT places? This is obviously specific to the United States, so not necessarily going to shut down everything, as I'm sure a lot of them are done overseas. But what was your first reaction to seeing this news?
Gas fees and jail. These are two good deterrents to crime.
Add that onto the list. Yeah, sure.
There you go. Yeah, of course. I would be very cautious. In fact, I wouldn't do it if you were planning on committing a scam in the industry. People believed that they could just, come in here and hit us for the easy marks they were, because they were right.
Sorry, 1 second.
That it was very, very easy to come into this deregulated market and basically do whatever you want. So there is obvious consequences, especially if you live in the United States. And I think people will think twice. Doesn't mean they're going away. Doesn't mean we're going to see an end to it. But all these things help to reduce the stuff that's going on. So there you go. And R2 has left me here to talk about this subject. Well, there you are. Good. Move on to the next thing. I can't talk about this anymore.
Sorry, I actually have some people coming into my apartment to fix something. I didn't even know that they were doing that. But yeah, did you touch on anything interesting, or are you just ready to move on?
Nope. Move on.
That's
stupid
all right.
Story. Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Let's talk about XCOPY making $25 million in the span of 10 minutes yesterday. We touched on XCOPY's open edition of his Max Payne NFT. 10 minutes, 1 ETH each, mint as many as you want, and move on with your life. 7,500 of these things were minted in the span of 10 minutes. So 7,500 ETH, which is about $23 million. He also had a couple of ranked auctions go down yesterday too. This waster one selling for about $100,000 each for 6 of them, or each person paid that much for one of 6. Damager Lux selling for a total price or a top price of $80,000. All of the votes were pretty close. But yeah, this was, I think from a trading standpoint, there was nothing here. You shouldn't have been looking for anything here. As Free Market said yesterday, with a 10-minute open edition, if you want one of these, you're going to get one of these. And, there's not going to be very much, if any, pressure at all on the secondary market to flip those if that was your plan with these. But it is a great way for people to open up sales into the XCOPY ecosystem, which was what I think this was about. A 1,600 ETH sale to Kazomo and some of the biggest NFT art project in the world. So, what was your takeaway from this?
So, I was actually surprised. Now, I saw a lot of people buying these XCOPYs yesterday, and what surprised me even more is as I went on Spaces and talked, one of the questions I got was, "Can you tell me who this XCOPY is?" And I was like, "What?" Like it shocked me in a way, because the new crop of people may not even know. Like, this was NFTs. Like, even just back in January, like it was XCOPY, Beeple, POC, and a few PFP projects. Like he is the preeminent crypto artist. Like back when he started, it wasn't called NFT artist. It was called crypto artist. Like that's how long ago XCOPY has been around in the halcyon era of 2017. So when this gave the opportunity for anybody, people had now been seeing these large XCOPY sales over the last 6 months, right click save guy and all that type of stuff. This gave people their first opportunity to do this. And I had said, did you guys know that he did an open edition last February, Afterburn? And there were about 900 and something of those minted. Open editions are great. It gives you a very good idea of where the market is and what's going on. Last February, XCOPY, who was just as big within the NFT world as he is now, did an open edition, and there was about 1,000 minted. This time, it was 7,500. You can see how much the market has grown. Now, right now, there is no profit to be made because, as you said, a 10-minute, if I'm not mistaken, the last one was 1 minute or maybe 2 minutes, okay? This was a 10-minute open edition. Anybody who wanted an XCOPY got an XCOPY yesterday. It got up to, I think, 1.2 on the secondary, which, again, there's always a few people that miss it. I mean, there's going to be someone that forgot, overslept, and blah, blah, and maybe you'll get a small premium for them. The last one was not advertised as much. A lot of people missed it, and you actually got a quick double over the next week if you wanted to flip. The week after that, it fell back to mint, and it sat there at $900 for months until we had this NFT renaissance. People discovered this guy XCOPY and realized there was one of his things sitting out there for $900. Last time I checked, the floor on Afterburn is 7 ETH now, and you were able to burn your Afterburn yesterday for access to some of these auctions and raffles. And XCOPY is very smart. He knows how to gamify his art. All right. This open edition right now was a measure of where the NFT market is today. That was 7,500. What would happen if XCOPY did a live edition 1 year from now? And how much would the 7,500 edition be worth? I think there's a lot of money to be made here on these editions. Okay. And next time when the market grows 10x again in a year, they're going to be rare compared to the new open edition. And he's going to introduce a burning mechanism again and make them even more rare. And he will keep doing this. And he is fractionalizing the cultural premium he has built up over years of being the preeminent crypto artist. And how much is that brand worth? Is it worth $1 billion, $5 billion, $10 billion? I don't know. How much is Picasso's brand worth? Well, he's fractionalizing his brand right now. and we will see how many shares there are of him when he stops. But for now, that's what's going on. And I think back to my first point I made in the pre-show, the tailwind of the collector base growing the way it is means that these can only, this is a blue chip. You know, I do not use the word blue chip a lot. There is a blue chip sitting on OpenSea right now for 1.14. The problem is you're not getting any type of quick flip. Hell, it could go even lower. If we went into a low volume period and ETH was ramping and ultra ramping and NFTs started playing, it could fall under mint. It could fall to 0.9, 0.8. People would be like, oh, what the fuck? XCOPY made $23 million and now it's sitting below mint. What a cash grab. I promise if this thing falls to 0.9, people are going to call what XCOPY did a cash grab. And it will be the dumbest, most smooth brain take you have ever heard. So, yeah, there you go.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm actually was surprised to see only 7,400 of these minted, although there was definitely that, like, you could go through the cycle of it and be like, oh, it's an open copy. I can mint as many of these one. And then you're like, oh, the more I mint, the more other people are probably going to mint. Then it's going to dilute the value. Do I want to do that? And then, you know, this kind of like push and pull between what the actual right play of it is. But, you know, this is just a mechanism.
I don't think so. I had guessed about 10,000 yesterday. 7,500 makes a ton of sense to me.
I actually thought we would be pushing 15, if I was being honest with you.
Huh.
I thought that there was quite just like a historical relevance, and I do see these things becoming something of like not a mint pass, but like an acceptance, a ticket into like that kind of ecosystem. As you said, obviously the other ones have had utility as well, things like burning to be able to get into it and whatnot. So I was going to ask, like, what was your take on and maybe you kind of answered this while you were talking, but 7,500 NFTs that all look the same, because that to me screams just like access pass too, right? Or like just being part of the club, really.
I think this has taken the lithograph business and ended it. Why would an artist give away some of his money by letting a company make prints when he could just make all the prints? Okay, I think this is a new phenomenon. I think one day in the not so distant future, there will be 1 million XCOPY collectors. Forget 1 million people in the market. There will be 1 million people around the world who just want to collect XCOPYs. And there's only 7,500 of these. And there's even less afterburns. That's what people don't understand. The tailwind of the collector base growing over the next 3 years makes all of these extremely rare.
Yeah, you can, and if you're not familiar with XCOPY, you can go to this cryptoart.io/artist/XCOPY site and go through his highest sales ever. I mean, we have a 1,600 ETH sale here. Right-click save as guy for 1,600 ETH, 1,330 for a coin for the ferryman. I remember when that went down. How many artists can you name that have multiple sales over 1,000 ETH? Because I think the only other name would be Beeple. Is that right?
Pac.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair. Fuck, I forgot about
Pac and the largest sale ever, $91 million. So, yeah, there are quite a few artists that actually command this premium that aren't the household names that XCOPY and Beeple are. So,
yeah, pretty incredible run for XCOPY though. And yeah, honestly, if you have liquid and you want something that's a long-term hold, and when I say long-term hold, we're talking about a year, 2 years, 5 years, and even that's not technically a long-term hold. Like I gotta believe that something like this, Matt Payne is sitting there very, 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 very cheap right now.
After what happened last summer and the subsequent crash in Gen Art, you have never been given a bigger opportunity. The problem is people don't want to hold for more than a couple weeks. And Gen Art was sitting there at the most depressed prices it's ever going to be at 2 weeks ago, and nobody was buying it.
$54 million hot dog. I saw this peace ball pop up this morning. Did you see this? People minting this and sharing it?
Nope.
Peacefall went down. It actually looked like it was a bit of a slower mint, but the secondary volume on it went quite crazy. I was looking at picking up one of these off the floor. I got the rare refresh where the price goes up, sitting at about 0.1 when I first opened it up. This is 8,200 challengers drawn by Food to Hand. Oh, fuck, you're just going to click that link. This is actually the artist from the classic NES games Double Dragon. And he has been making these characters, generative characters that are doing battle. You mint them, you get them. You have the option of doing these fights, and if you win between 1 and 3 of your first fights, you'll get to name them. And then after the first 3 fights, you'll be able to do battle to unlock more moves. And now the caveat here is that after that third fight, if you lose, your character dies. Now the NFT doesn't get burned, but it does become this sad looking character that's kind of like sitting up against a wall, dead. I actually just thought this was really cool. Obviously, there's some history behind Double Dragon. That was actually one of the biggest nostalgia brands that I could think of, if you want to go back to those days. But yeah, go check it out. Peaceful.xyz. It kind of looks a little interesting. And anything strike you there as neat? Did you ever play Double Dragon?
There was a great collab game for Super NES, Double Dragon and Battletoads.
Oh, I remember that too. Yeah.
That was the mashup we needed. See, interoperability was always there, people. It was early. There was no internet. They didn't know what to do with themselves. So. Great game.
Yeah.
This looks fabulous. I am a sucker for pixel art. Raid Party, Orcs. Let me just side note. Ooh, see, look, they're after us. They know what we want. They know what we want. The art of Orcs and Raid Party to me is so damn good, and it's not talked about among best. It's the best pixel art I've ever seen. I'm trying to think of I can't think of better than that, except maybe some upcoming projects that are coming, but we won't talk about those yet. But yeah, this is also very good. I love what's going on here, and I have to dig into this game. As you know, I'm a P2E maniac. I love them. I can't get enough of them. The game theory behind them fascinates me, and I'm loving these little animations here.
Cool stuff. It doesn't seem P2E in the sense that you're going to be able to earn a token or anything. When I was looking at it, it's more like P2E for the right to enhance the NFT that you have. Mm-hmm. So, after the first 1 to 3 victories, you might get a little bit of an upgrade on this guy's got a nicer looking weapon after it. If you win 1, you can name your character 4 letters max. You can put it in and then it gets stored and listed. If you get 2 or 3 victories in that first 3 battle kind of system that they have, you can use up to 11 letters to name your characters. So that was kind of cool too. And then you have the choice at the end to unlock their special move, which is kind of just something that will be displayed in the NFT as well. So there is a risk reward, and I guess how valuable you think the NFTs are. I'm going to be watching this to see kind of how it unfolds. The mint price was 0.1 plus gas, and it is sitting again about 33% above that. So still definitely within buy range for me, but I don't know. I've really just kind of tapped out of buying the secondary market right this moment. But yeah, fun to watch going down. And obviously there's some real nostalgia there with the artist from Double Dragon. So keep an eye out on that one.
I think we talk about all the time how too many people focus on the E and not the P. And if a game is fun to play, you could turn on the E anytime you want. That's where I think, existing games probably look at crypto and go, all they have to do is add the cashier layer. We have the cashier layer and we're trying to add the game. Not that we're not going to do it, right? But it's definitely going to, it seems like the harder challenge, so to say. So watching out for that, but focusing on the P. And I think projects that have great gameplay and aren't worried, our game is so good, we think you're going to play it even without the utility token. Then you could just always add that anytime you want.
Yeah, I can't remember who said it, but maybe the term P2E needs a bit of a rebrand as well, and maybe switch to P play and earn. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the most important things to focus on, like you said, is if the game is actually fun to play, there's going to be demand there for it, and then you can kind of expand on to whatever else you're looking to do. But the play part is actually got to be the focus of it. So I always liked whoever, I think it was somebody in the DGen Dojo, but they said, just it should be play and earn. You're earning because you're playing and you're contributing and whatnot. So
yeah.
Another project that's going down right now and not doing super well, although I can recheck on it, was this like kind of celebrity-based chef project called Shefty Pizzas. This was done by one of the hosts of Top Chef, if you ever watch the Food Network and whatnot, Tom Colicchio and Chef Spike. This is a 2,700 a collection project done by these guys. I'm not surprised to see this having trouble getting off the mat, although I did see about 2,000 out of 2,700 of them were minted. So it looks like this thing will end up minting out. I'll give it a refresh and see how far along it is. It's kind of stalling out there. But if you're from the food industry and these names mean anything to you and you think that they have a pedigree that can succeed in NFTs, there might be something there. Obviously, I just got to ask, do you think pineapple is going to be a trait on these pizzas?
It would have to be. What else are they going to do?
I don't know.
These are terrible. Who would want to be a pizza in the metaverse?
What would happen if you saw one of these in a dark alley in Decentralized?
Yeah, I'd eat it.
You'd eat it.
So exactly to Dickens's point, when you first showed me this project, I thought to myself, well, this must be some kind of like restaurant pass or something of that sort. There's only 2,700 of them. These are like legitimate chefs backing this thing, but like, why is it a surprise? Did they not tell us yet?
Well, that's kind of what I was wondering too. I mean, they have this, he has almost 1 million followers, Tom Colicchio, and Spike Mendelsohn has, 55,000 followers. They have been sharing this on Twitter, and I always got to wonder, is this just a project that existed and they reached out to some people and be like, yo, slap your name on this? Or if they were forming it. I literally just saw this pop up this morning, and I wonder, how far this actually can go. There was part of me that thought 2,700 supply with some relatively big names backing it might actually be worth something. But I do, again, just ask myself the question, like, why is this struggling so much? Like, what was the fail point of it? Was it the marketing? Are these guys not actually that involved in it? I don't know.
Yeah, if there's no utility here, it's strange and gonna fail.
Yeah, I want to be an audience in the Top Chef arena there.
That'd be fun.
Those guys are good at what they do, man. I got a lot of respect for them. And then, let's talk about Bape-diverse. Not much to report back yet. The reveal still hasn't happened yet, but they are now kind of on the run, quickly approaching the 1 ETH floor. Not more than 36 hours ago, I think they were sitting at about a 0.4 ETH floor. So there seems to be some hype generated around Bape, and the owner threshold has crossed over, and people are accumulating these.
Yeah, this is starting to moon close to 1 ETH. It just had to break through that 0.8 wall there. Speaking of utility, Bape. This is not about the art, which has been divisive, to say the least, because these will give you access, as it says in that last line, to drops and all sorts of things. I think this is the trend this year. These are the projects to look out for. Not saying it's a buy at 1 ETH here. I think you have to DYOR on what you think they can offer, how much of a fan you are. But the value in these type of NFTs is not just in the asset price, right? It's if you are a fan of Bape and you pay $3,000 for one of their hoodies, it's not out of line to pay $3,000 for a pass that would give you exclusive access to these things. I mean, streetwear, it's all about exclusivity and hype and having something that the other guy doesn't have. And that's, what NFTs can provide. I think fashion moving in is the most obvious of the, I think Web 2 is a bad word, but I guess the traditional industries to move in here. So yeah, Lucky Ducky, love these Lucky Duckies, man.
These are sitting at a very palatable price right now, pre-reveal too.
They were more palatable yesterday. They were at a 0.04.
0.04,
way below mint. I
think that's a great buy opportunity for something that's unique. There's an actual artist behind this doing real things. The fact that dropped to 0.4, sorry. I wish I had been around for that, because I probably would have scooped a few of these up.
Well, that's the best looking egg out. There's some other eggs out there that may be simpler, but this Lucky Ducky, first of all, good looking egg. So shout out to the.
Is this taking the throne for the egg games?
The throne. Yeah, this is King Egg by a long shot. This is a great egg here, but
Pixelverse had a good one.
Yeah, this was really just a this was a factor of, I don't know if it was botted, probably was, but somebody got a bunch of these things and there was no cook afterwards, so they decided to take their 0.03 loss and move along. So there was a bunch of these available for 0.04. People I know and trust were aping these. Somebody I very much respect bought 50 of them as they dipped to 0.04. So there is, this is very unique, and it has a legitimate claymation studio behind it. Like, this is the potential here, I think, is very, very large. You want to talk about getting a Hollywood deal. These guys are Hollywood. All right. I would not discount what could happen here with these. I'm very bullish on these. I did mint some, and I'm holding.
I'm excited to see what pops out of them with like the claymation style of it, right? I think
it's gonna be ducks art too. It's gonna be ducks.
Okay, yeah, thanks, man.
You're welcome.
No, I mean, I'm excited to see how they handle like claymation style traits and stuff like that. It's gonna be really cool. It's just nice to see a little bit of a breakup from the the standard just cute art meta. A lot of them are great, but we've just seen so many of them over the past, and I think that fatigue from it, combined with now, the DoJ coming down on projects. So, if anybody has any like kind of ill intentions in launching a project, there's probably a pretty good deterrent now standing in your way. I think that we could be shifting into this bullish seasonality with a lot of impetus for just quality projects.
Correct.
Yes, James is asking about undead blocks. Have you seen this one at all?
No. Let's try to find it. Sounds interesting.
I have already pulled up. It is a P2E shooter style game. I'm kind of getting Left 4 Dead vibes with it, maybe some PUBG vibes or something, but kill zombies, earn some Z-Bucks. Have to look into that a little bit more. I did have this pulled up yesterday, but or not yesterday, the other day, but I couldn't, didn't have enough time to dig into it.
Digging in.
So there's a token with it, which is obviously Z-Bucks. I'm just trying to find, it looks like the mint has already gone down. I always hate when I can't find what I need to on the website. Give me their Twitter. I don't know. I'll take a look into it. James, if you want to let me know what you're excited about. The gameplay does actually look pretty good. And if it's been live streamed, that's important, because we all know how preview videos can be a little bit on the deceptive side. There it is.
Remember Godlies?
Oh, Raid Party?
Do you remember Godlies?
I do. Back to a simpler time.
Yeah. They were great. They don't come around much anymore, or two.
We didn't get it. We haven't gotten any, obviously. I can tell by my yield. Did you check out that calculator? Did you play around with it at all?
No, you didn't send it to me.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
Nope.
No, I'll send it to you. My apologies. Yeah, I did. I sent it to you yesterday morning. I liked that tracker that you posted yesterday, though. That was cool. I didn't have a chance to, or I had a chance to log into that this morning. It's pretty cool to see how much you're getting per boss and everything.
Love it. Yeah, no, I mainly use that to see when the seed change is going to be and when the how long the bosses are, basically.
Yeah, you like to get that countdown going so you can celebrate the appearance of the godly. The new backgrounds look nice, though. They've been good to shift them up a little bit.
I love the new back. I mean, this is the I like we've said before, I would have this on a screen in my house, like on the wall, and I would enjoy looking at it, watching my confetti stack. Confetti, it's such a great name for a token.
I had my skepticism of confetti, but it's working for me now. Every token looks
Lord
great,
of mercy.
It's earning you some money. Cool Cats and Pets on a small pump. Yeah, Cool Cats are quickly approaching that 10 ETH floor last time I checked.
Oh yeah, good for them.
Yeah, they are bouncing back for sure. I figured it was only a matter of time. I was getting a little bit worried for the Cool Cats community when we saw the Azukis running up, and after that ape coin, we saw a lot of floors kind of take a little bit of a run, and then Cool Cats had that run with the other side video that Bored Apes did, and then promptly got smacked back down. But yeah, they're sitting at 9.5 ETH, so there's light at the end of the tunnel for them.
Yeah, the Cool Pets are at 1.75.
Yeah, I wonder. I know that there's a beta going down. I've seen some people talking about the beta of the project, but I mean, geesh, I would have thought even with all of the delays, they'd have it off the ground by now. Well, maybe it's close. I don't know.
Well,
Cool Cats interview with Benzinga soon. I'll definitely tune into that, see what's going on there. Speaking of PUBG, their parent company has NFT games coming up with Solana. You know what? I did see that. It's hard to talk about Solana because I really don't spend enough time on it. But man, I have seen a lot of traditional gaming stuff start to hit on the Solana blockchain, and it's getting pretty hard to ignore it.
What were you ignoring? And how dare you? But what were you ignoring?
No, just Solana in general, right? I mean, I know that yeah, I know. I'm talking about with traditional gaming studios and how Solana focused they seem to be. They're definitely starting to take some market share in that regard. But I mean, this is a big one. PUBG is a big game, very very streamed, very competitive focused game. I played it for a little while. Man, I fucking suck at these games, though. Don't ask to team up with me. I'll just drag you down.
Yeah, it's true.
James, no need to apologize. You're asking about Elio Trade's new NFT imposters social deduction game based on Among Us. Interesting. I'm gonna write that down. It's hard to do to look up stuff in real time, but NFT imposters. Chris used to play a ton of PUBG. It's a fun game, but it's frustrating as shit.
Nice. Huh. I make more confetti than I thought.
Yeah. Are you talking? What are you looking at?
31.49 a day.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
So you're at what, about 16, 17,000 damage?
19.
19? Okay, yeah, because I think I'm at 19 confetti a day. That makes sense. Yeah, because I'm at 12K. That's right. Yeah, I'm more
Did
than
you
happy
see
with how that's played out.
Let's see. Maybe I could get it to you from my Twitter. The first raid party was sold yesterday, an entire party from the top. Okay. It was a top 10 party. It was the number 10 raid party, which had 60,000 damage. How much you think it sold for?
Oh shit, 60,000 damage. So we're looking at 100 confetti-ish a day. I would probably put that in the 40 to 50 ETH range.
69.
Was it really? Okay.
Yeah, 68 ETH. 68 ETH. Yeah.
For the memes, of course. Oh, 68. Curious, was that fair market value? Was that just like the sum of all of it, or was that like, was there a premium involved in getting that over?
I didn't do the math. I'd have to go look at what the the thing is though, like you can definitely, there's a few reasons you could charge a premium for that. One, assembling that type of team, basically impossible. I think they were all level 3s, the fighters. I don't think there's that many level 3s for sale. You can't, you have to negotiate that in a private sale. So I don't know if you could just look at OpenSea and figure out what you could probably price the hero.
Yeah, that's true.
But it'd be hard to price the fighters. There's none for sale. So we would price the fighters based off of this sale. We have to go do the math now. Subtract the hero from it. And then we could kind of...
Well, once you start playing that game too, there's a lot of loss involved in how to burning the fighters to get them to that level too. So you kind of gotta bake all that in.
Crypto Cosmos. That's so true. He goes, Raid Party has all this and Chain Scouts has an ice cream flavor. ... Seems legit. Did you see the announcement in Chain Scouts?
No, I haven't.
They announced a collaboration for an ice cream flavor with some local with some local ice cream farm. Yeah, where's our game? Chain
Milky
Scouts?
Treats, yeah. I love the idea of marketing and getting out there, but Chain Scout ice cream would not be on my,
I'm
taking a page. No, I'm not against it, but like, I mean, taking a play out a
okay.
Doodles
Sure.
playbook, or partnering up with a paint company, like Chain
No,
Scouts.
and I'd say the only missed opportunity was there were no Chain Scouts on the ice cream. It was just called like Chain Scouts chocolate or something. There was no I want to see that chain. Here's something about Chain Scouts. I love that art. I think that's really cool pixel art. The Chain Scouts. I would love to see that on branding. I think it would work really well. So yeah, Crypto Cosmos, I'm with you. I went really heavy into Chain Scouts, but I went really heavy into Chain Scouts because could you tell me what just do you want to tell us what happened there? All right, so with Chain Scouts I don't know.
Keep going.
Now we just
Chain
gotta move
Scouts.
on. No, I don't remember.
Sorry.
I'm bullish, but I'm disappointed in what's been delivered so far. So I bought a bunch of them. I'm waiting. NFT Worlds is the eventual goal here. They have started to build that world and even hired outside help. So
check price, bad price. 0.04 is for all of the delays and what we've got going on. It actually could be worse.
It's not even and the other thing is the ones on the floor are useless scouts. And I don't mean, of course they're not useless. And if the utility token in the game were worth anything, those scouts would be worth a lot. It's just, this is a game. So now that it's been out for I don't know how long, people know how to read the stats. They know what to look for. And there's a premium, a large premium, on the important players, on the rare players, and on the relevant ones. But the floor ones are certainly below mint. That's actually not unusual, given what's going on here. If they had a working product, we'd be off to the races. So, again, I'm still, like Crypto Cosmos says, staking is going up and stuff. All you can really do is mint those passes right now, which I'm not rushing. Like, I do make enough to mint a pass every day, but I'm not minting them now because there's just no rush. I might as well just, stack as many as possible and just do it as we get closer to sellout. So, but
I need to mint my scout pass or whatever it was. I forgot about that.
I think 100. I think like 200 have been minted out of 3,000. So
I'm not.
Yeah, there's literally no hurry. That's why I have enough to mint 4 right now, but I'm not like in a rush to spend the gas. I might as well when gas is 15. God knows where it'll be in a month.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how much are you waiting for here, man? The sub 10 gas. It's so funny how the perspective changes, right? We're like, I'm not paying 30 for this shit.
I'm telling you, like, I see 35 now. I'm like, ooh, am I really gonna pay 35 away? Like, what are people nuts? Nuts? Come on.
It is funny. It's like the it actually kind of reminds me of like gas at the traditional pump, whereas like it runs up to $1 and you're scoffing at, well, this is in Canada in liters, but now it's at $2 here, and the second it goes down to like $1.75, you're like, fuck yeah, I'm in.
Yep.
Yeah, Arsby, Meta and Magic on Twitter, Discord literally launched 10 hours ago. I mean, I could pull it up. I don't know what to make of it again in real time. You're saying it looks like a competitor to Raid Party. You check it out. First ERC 721A on-chain NFT game. Some pixel art. We got some dragons there. I don't know. It looks like a...
It's been 3 days since the last Godly. I'm like, we haven't seen what it is.
Yeah, time to move on to Meta and Magic. There are better things out there. No. Hey, you know what? Thank you for bringing it out. Yeah, I'll check the Discord too. Their Twitter.
Ooh, that looks good.
Yeah, that art actually does look pretty decent on it. That's not a great picture, but that's just because there's no background on it. I can get into this. This is something to look at. Looks like there's some stats here. There's some leveling, ranks. I like that. It looks like maybe the items contribute to damage and all of that stuff. That could be pretty cool. Mm-hmm. On-chain RPG type games are only going to grow in their complexity. One, as the contracts get made more and more efficient, and two, as people kind of have the time to. That's the thing, right? Like, we saw such a rush for P2E games when Wolf Game came out. We saw all of the clones. They cooled off a little bit. We had Eternal Elves and Raid Party and Cool Pets go down. Obviously, Cool Pets still on the back burner. You'll see another kind of wave of them, but with the complexity and the ideologies behind them and what people are building, the deeper it goes, the more time it's going to take. So I would say you'll see these cycles of, maybe a team was like, oh, P2E gaming and crypto gaming seems really cool. They started building in August of last year, but maybe it actually takes them a year to build it. So, we're still 4 months away from something that's really, really high quality. There are a ton of teams that are just kind of building in the shadows, working on stuff. I think that the quality of these things are just going to go up and up and up.
Yeah, definitely.
Anonymized Dev, and I don't know if it was some founder or whoever from EtherOrcs, but he's involved as well. I'll have to look into that. I think the founders of EtherOrcs are quite busy with EtherOrcs, but they do follow them on Twitter. So maybe there's some kind of advisory there, or I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up, though. I'll definitely jump in the Discord and keep an eye on it. It looks good.
I mean, weren't I just saying yesterday that like pixel art is about to have its moment again? I'm feeling all pixely. No more bold lines, people.
Boom.
I am feeling pixely.
Anything else you want to talk about, my friend? We are sitting at just under an hour and a half. Feels good for a Friday.
Nice in 15 minutes, I am playing a Kaiju poker tournament.
Oh, what?
Kaijus are holding their first poker tournament. Raid Party actually held one last week that I could not participate in. But Kaijus holding their first 10 R ways to enter. I love.
What's the value of that? Is there any value?
R waste is $5 right now. The real value in our waste is that you need 750 to make a baby, and babies are 1.4 ETH right now. The liquidity pool is worthless because there's just no liquid in it. Like, you can't really, maybe you could sell, 10 or 20 here now and again if you really desperately needed a little liquidity, but it's like more of a, you definitely are encouraged to just mint the baby and sell the baby if you want to make money off of that. But 750 divided by 1.4 ETH is what each token is worth. So yeah.
And is the payout going to be in our ways too?
Yeah. So and that's what's really cool. Like, I love the idea, especially, I'm halfway to a baby. If I win this tournament, I'll be most of the way there. And I would have had to wait till April 14th. This is a dream. I don't know who is out there building it right now, and I'm sure somebody is, but if you made a full functioning poker room where we could buy chips with our utility tokens and then play either a utility token specific tournament. I mean, even you could just have people buy in with Zug, R-Waste, whatever the utility token is, and then make the payouts proportionate in that token, or get, there's a lot of ways I think it can be done, but yeah. Man.
Things that might have not been said before NFTs. I'm halfway to a baby. Wow, that's like it's a 4.5 month line.
No, I minted 5 grams of hash yesterday. I say things like that.
Oh man, Trippy Toads keeps getting brought up. They're revealing today.
I almost bought a couple of those things. I just, you know what it is, R2? I haven't mentioned this, but I think pixel art's gonna have a moment here coming up.
You say that.
I know. Well, new revelation.
Here's my beef with them. It says there's 6,969 of them, but on OpenSea I only see 6,968. They didn't even mint out. Nah, I'm kidding. Yeah, in case you needed clarification, I'm gonna see how these look in the reveal. I've definitely seen them spoken about before. They are sitting basically at mint price. The mint price was 0.069, so. See where those go. Man, the dynamics of after mints have been changing, evolving rapidly. So, I like the website though. It's very very bright. All right, my friend. We can start to wrap this up. For those of you that tuned in late to the show, markets are doing great. Crypto's doing great. Axie Infinity token is doing great as they look to turn their token into a governance and DAO mechanism. Diplo's getting into NFTs, but they're not calling them NFTs. They're calling them digital assets. You can go check that out and maybe earn some royalties on a Diplo song. We talked about the Top Chefs launching a pizza project that's not doing super well in the mint process right now. Kind of the big news coming out of yesterday is that the US DoJ is going after the Embers team, which is getting, allegedly rug pulled one of their projects, Frosties, earlier. So go check that out. I think there's some big implications there. And as much as we hate regulation and all of that stuff, might do us a couple favors in terms of the absolute shit scams that are out there. XCOPY had a great day yesterday, making about $25 million on his open edition. We talked a little bit about Peacefall. We talked a little bit about Bape Diverse. We talked, I kind of just went into some other stuff. Chain Scout's got its own ice cream. That's very, very exciting stuff there. So on that note, we will wrap this up. We'll be back on the stage 9:30 on Monday morning. Free market. Do the ding.
Good luck at the tables, D-Gens.
Yeah, you too.